Cam Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G, Big Lou, Tuesday night. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We got a lot to talk about. NBA trades, crazy, so much NFL stuff. But of course, we got to give you the last coverage of the Super Bowl. We'll see what we got on prop bets and who we think and whatever. But this weekend was a huge trade.
Wow.
Luka going to the Lakers. AD going to Dallas. Who you think made out on this?
For the short term, Dallas made out for the short term because they're built to win now. And with the addition of Anthony Davis, now he's happy. He can play his power forward position. Doesn't have to worry about a center. They got two guys over there that can play center. One of them's injured right now, but actually they have three. Long term, the Lakers won. So now when LeBron makes his exit, they have a superstar right there that's ball dominant that can play. The cons from both teams is for some reason in the NBA, 32 and 33 is very old. For some reason they think that because of Kyrie being 32 and Anthony Davis turning 31, that, and they're both known for, knick-knack injuries, that they're not going to be healthy, for a championship run. But I beg to differ because now Kyrie can pretty much run the offense. He's got AD that can work. He plays defense, and now he's a wing defender with a center. So with AD playing what he wants to play, he's going to play better because now he's playing the position he wants to. As far as the Lakers are concerned, they're looking at the future. They got Luka there. That's the future face of the Lakers. They're always going to have a superstar. Then LeBron can casually go his way out. But the biggest concern is that with LeBron being ball dominant and Luka as well, but Luka lacks defense. And, LeBron can't, be the guy to defend everyone. He's not physically, he can't do that every night. But I think they're going to work it out because their basketball's IQs are too high for them not to figure out who does what. If I know LeBron, he's probably going to lean back to, on the court coaching, if you will, where Luka can get his shots and get set up. They did get a couple of guys from Dallas, but Max Christie, our defensive guy, he went to Dallas with AD. So long term, Lakers won because they got Luka. Short term, Dallas won because now with AD and Kyrie and Clay, they can pretty much do their thing now.
Yeah.
Now you don't have three people. Well, Clay's not really a ball dominant guy, but you don't have two ball dominant guys. Now you got one. Everybody can play their position. But the only thing that's going to hurt the Lakers is now the Lakers are not. They're not set up to win right now. But I'm pretty sure they're not done. I'm pretty sure they're going to go and get a big. They still got trade value in Austin Reeves now that Luka's there. So now Austin Reeves becomes a valuable trade piece. Then they can get a big in there and they can do some things. But I think so, yeah.
But also, I'm not going to cut you off, but another factor is, but now Luka is no longer eligible for the 5-year Supermax 345.
That part.
Yeah, you brought that up, and I was just
because they had the max coming up. The GM doesn't like the fact that he doesn't train and condition the way that they want him to, and just little things like that sometimes will get an owner or a general manager to get rid of that person if they don't gel with what culture they're trying to set up. And I just felt like they didn't. Me, honestly, I feel like they didn't want to pay a guy that's coming in here at 270 pounds, that much money when your defense is not as good as it could be, and the type of injuries you're getting allegedly alludes to your training or your nutrition.
Right.
So in other words, they're saying, look, you're heavy, that's why you're getting hurt. Similar to Zion.
Yes. Yes.
And so I guess there was some disrespect there. Maybe there was a talk. Maybe they had a talk with Luca saying, hey, you know, in order for, we need you to change some things for us, you know, to get over the hump. These are some of the things that we see that you need to improve on. Maybe he took offense to that. It was like, whatever, I'm what you got, and nah, I'm not doing it.
It will be interesting to see how it all folds out. I think,
Yeah.
but I agree with you. I think short term, AD, Clay, I really think Kyrie. I think that team could make a run. They made a run last year.
Mm-hmm.
They got to gel together now. That may take a little second. So that's true. And then the Lakers, Bronny went off the other night for the Lakers and had his highest scoring. You
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, but it's interesting because of that super max deal that also kind of changed. And I guess with the new owners, um, with the new owners comes new personalities. You know what I mean? And I guess
Mm-hmm.
maybe Cuban was not maybe him and but he still, or I guess I'm stuttering here, but he still has a part of the team. He's helped running. So
Mm-hmm.
he had to play a little bit of a part on this trade. So he
Mm-hmm.
had to have input. I'm not saying he had the final, but and obviously I don't know you don't know how long this trade's been working. That's the other thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it just didn't happen over the weekend. Obviously they had been talking to each other. Um
Mm-hmm.
and
And
see because they got some picks and some other stuff. Um,
right. They got some players and some picks. And there was also speculation that under Mark Cuban's regime, Luca got what he wanted. Didn't matter.
yes, yeah,
And when he sold all, but now that he's only 25%, he only owns 25% of it. He's kind of out of the business of it
right,
as far as like trading players and all that goes. And when that regime changed, so did the culture. So it's like, no, we're not coddling to this dude. And we're
it
not
muted
coddling.
me. Yeah,
You good now?
no, it said
Yeah, I
you
hear.
muted.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I tried to get something off the screen, fat thumbs,
So
but yeah, like I was saying, yeah, there was speculation that under Mark Cuban, there was a little coddling going on. You can do pretty much what you want. And when the
right,
new regime came in, it was like, no, you're gonna do something about this weight, and before we give you this max deal, we got some demands you need to meet.
right.
And so there was like, well, the way it's going, we're not comfortable giving all this money to this guy if he's not going to at least try to do some of the things that we ask him to do. So no, we're not giving him this money. We'll trade him, get someone in here that can play with Kyrie and Clay. And since we have a pretty good team set up, we're going to try to go for it now. And I think that's how it went down, unbeknownst
So
to either LeBron or AD.
so it's saying that Mark Cuban has made statements saying that he was not in on the trade. But the
Right. And I believe that.
yeah, and general manager. Um, so I stand corrected. Group sold. Okay. But yeah. So like I said, there was something that was and you made a good point because you said last year after they won, Luca had a beer in his hand, and you said the general manager took it out, or was it the owner?
I think it was the owner. It might have been the owner.
Okay.
It was one or the other, but I know he was standing, they were standing in the hallway and he had a beer celebrating the Western Conference final win, and he just walked by and just snatched it out of his hand.
Oh, interesting. And like I said, it may have been, may have been that wasn't the face that they wanted for
Right.
their team. Was definitely a huge move. We'll see if it bites them and comes back and um bites them in the butt. But going on this was talking about trades. So there's another big another big
Mhm.
and I'm not saying it's not the same, but what you do gets you there's always an effect. So now a few years ago when the Browns first got when they first got oh geez, I'm having a when they first got their 100 $200 million quarterback, the team had a lot of stars on it. That team had a lot of stars. They were built. I mean, when they had traded for a lot of people, and they really had a good. They really should have been a lot better than what they are. But
Mhm.
now, because of that high salary that they overpaid for, um, so you got Miles Garrett, a stud. Looks like they're going to
Right.
have to trade. Um,
Yeah.
so when you had that when they paid all that money and haven't received anything, that team was kind of built to kind of do something. Now they went to the playoffs. They
Hmm.
went to the playoffs with a backup quarterback with Joe Cool led. I mean, so there was some, and they had at one time they had a really good defense. They had a good running game. Um, but Watson, the trade was just so. Eventually, it was going to hit. The money was going to hit, and it was like, hey, we're not going to have, we're not going to have all these. We're not going to have money basically to sign everyone. That's basically where we're going. And going back to that, there's another. Here's another one. Let me pull it up because it looks like Dallas may not sign their stud on defense. So
Huh.
there's rumors of that because he's going to be a $25 million a year guy. Because they got to do something with Dax. They got to work Dax. They got to rework Dax deal in order to keep everybody. Um, if they're going to keep all the pieces that they need to really have a serious. Now, the people that are talking about getting Miles Garrett, one of them is San Francisco
Ooh,
making moves. Yeah, that's even he's going to
that's
be
pretty serious right there.
125 million. That's what it's looking at. I think a 4 year deal, maybe a 5 year deal, but I think it's 125. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to pull up. What about the Saints? What's going on with the Saints? Anything going on? Have they figured out? I mean, I've heard rumors they're going to trade Carr,
Or at least try to.
or at least try
Or
to.
at least
At
try
least,
to.
yeah.
Um, because they had to get a staff. They don't even have a staff or head
No,
coach
they
yet.
don't. No, they don't.
Clint
You're, yeah.
Kubiak went to Seattle. You know, they're thinking about retaining the interim head coach, the special teams guy, but New York's trying to get him.
Right.
Uh, but that's a I think they want to get rid of Derek. They really love Spencer Rattler. Um, According to sources there, the front office really likes Spencer Rattler. They want to. I guess what they're trying to do is start over, start with Spencer, and rebuild. And good luck with the Derek Carr trade because that's 55 million he's owed right there. right off the dump.
Yeah, actually, the Saints have one of the worst salary caps of anyone. I read
Yeah.
that they're in honestly they're in bad shape on the salary cap for the next probably 2 years.
Oh yeah,
Really,
they're in cap purgatory for at least the next 2 years.
yeah, and that's kind of scary because it's like
And
it all. Yeah, because you can't do anything. There's just not a lot.
right.
Was there anything? So, what was the deal with McCarthy pulling out of the Saints job? Did he not? In
Well, I guess there were some things that McCarthy was asking for that the front office of the Saints weren't willing to give. I guess he wanted more. I guess he wanted a little bit more say so,
okay,
and they weren't willing to give that. But which I don't understand because if he's going to come in there and try to do something, I don't see why you wouldn't. You need a valid coach, you
right,
know. So I don't see why they would not at least, you know, kind of talk to or listen to what he had to offer or
right,
what he could do because there's only one owner and GM in Dallas and there's nobody
right.
that's going over that. And
No,
but yeah, they the Saints um it's not going to be a good season for them. That is for a couple of years it's going to hurt a little bit because they got to get off of that money and a lot of their key players that they had very expensive now.
yes, I
So
really
yeah, they're going to
thought.
try to go ahead, sir.
No, no. Go ahead. You finish what you were saying.
No, no, I was finished.
I really thought we had talked about this before, but I really thought Carr was going to be a better. I thought he was going to do better than he had. I mean, I wasn't. I mean, I just thought like, okay, they got him. I mean, but I don't know. He just hasn't worked out, and I don't understand if it's his attitude that just doesn't seem to sway the rest of the team. I don't know. There's something. There's something that he had a couple games this season, but they were against lesser opponents.
Hmm.
They looked awesome. They looked like, man, okay. The Saints are going to be steamrolling, and
They
then
were
as
clicking.
fast, yeah, and as fast as they looked great, it just That's it was it. It was like wow. And then Carr got hurt. Um, I don't know. It's just I really thought, like I said, um, thought it was going to be better than that. And then when I saw McCarthy, and then he backed out of the job, and I was like, huh, who else is
Yeah.
left out there?
Um, it's the pickings are getting very thin. I know that because now all of the top tier or the hot ticket coaches are now signing with teams. And Saints don't even have a head coach yet. And I know how the head coaching job is. What coach with a pretty valuable resume would go to a team where they have a quarterback that hasn't lived up to their expectations, plus he's owed a lot of money. The team's in cap hell. All of your major players are expensive now. So I'm thinking nobody wants to take that on because that's going to be a niche, on your resume. Because regardless, if you go there, you take the job and you lose, it was a losing season as a head coach at the end of the day.
Yes, yeah. At the
So
end
I'm
of the day,
thinking,
yes,
I'm thinking that's scaring a lot of people away. And I don't think nobody wants Carr as a quarterback. I think where the Saints got fooled was they was like, okay, Derek Carr looks to be a pretty good quarterback, maybe with some talent, you know, he can reach that level he need to reach. And okay, we've got Kamara, we've got Olavi, we got some tight ends, we got well, they signed Valdez Scantling and he's doing a pretty good job. So it's like, okay, we got weapons. We just need a solid quarterback, and he just didn't pan out to be that quarterback, but came in with the attitude like he was going to take the team to the Super Bowl. didn't work.
Right.
So now what do? We got to get a coach. He's got to get a quarterback, and he's got to build a staff. So I don't understand where they go from here unless there's a college coach that's eager to get in the NFL. That's the only other way I could see it. But yeah, this it's going to be rough 2 years for the Saints, but it happens to all the teams when when you get
Yeah.
so close and you don't gump when you need to, you try to retain what you have, and this is what happens when it doesn't work out and players, get injured or get older and things of that nature.
One thing I think that we can agree on, and when we get back, I mean, we still got is today's NFL is a little bit different. There's some guys you
Mhm.
keep, and there's other guys you don't. And some of the guys that you don't, I know that sounds stupid, but it isn't if you think about it. There's going to be good players that you go, we should gotta cut them. You know what I mean? And just kind of always keep it moving, just
Mm-hmm.
like Parcells, not like, but just like New England was doing, and that's kind of like what us, kind of like what Kansas City is doing. You know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
they just keep moving. Oh, Tariq Hill,
They keep
fastest
moving.
man
Yeah.
on the planet. Oh my gosh, what do you?
Out
They're
of there.
going
What are
to
y'all
yeah, we're
doing?
yeah, they're going for a third Super Bowl
Right.
without the fastest man in the planet, or he's not anymore. But you know what I'm saying? To me, if
Mm-hmm.
that don't say something, man, then you're not listening. And
Right.
it's a lot of them. And sometimes you just got to look at the plan. If you've got to look at someone else's formula that just keeps working, and that was like what I was talking about, Mike Parsons with Dallas. It'll be interesting to see if they can. I know they want us. I'll be interested to see if they're really gonna if they can sign both of them because they're both gonna want a bunch of money. They got dig,
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of that. It's like, man, I said this before. Um, they should have got rid of Zeke 4 years before they got rid of him. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Only because they
Mm-hmm.
could have got a lot for him.
Right.
A lot. They could have unloaded him, and people are like, but why? You keep plugging and playing. Maybe you get another good running back with another good defensive. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you get bonuses.
Right.
So my point is always with the player development because you just start looking at stuff and go, okay, that's not that's not working. At some point, you have to say that's not working. And I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of teams like that. And like I said, going back to Carr, I thought he was good. Deshaun Watson, I wasn't. I don't know. I just thought there was too much antics on the off the
Mm-hmm.
field, and I'm not going to say I was the biggest. And I mean, he's a heck of an athlete, but apparently it's just not it's just not working. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland was ready. Pretty much, I mean, they had a lot of stars. They should have been a lot better. He's been very disappointing. They did go. Joe Cool brought him there. Joe Flacco. But I'm just saying, Wilson, what's going to happen with the Wilson money? All these teams that are just carrying baggage. Now, I will say this Denver's lucked up. They took Joe Nix, okay, got him for cheap for a minute. Hopefully, Wilson's money because right now they're working with a bunch of cheap. I mean, they got some
Yeah.
lower end, and they got Sean there. They're winning. They're got so they're right now they're working it out. Um, and I think that's what this. It's easy to say that, but that's what the Saints are going to have to do. They're going to have
Yeah.
to just go. Okay, what can we figure out? Because one thing that I will say, and I know you know this, the last two games the offense was it wasn't even pitiful. It was worse than pitiful. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't. I mean, you know what I mean? It was like, oh,
They
this
couldn't
is
do anything.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad. So, but like you said, they got to get a coach. But you're gonna have to work with the same thing with with New York. New York spent a lot of money on Daniel, but not. I don't know. Like I said, I think that's kind of a fire, and then
Yeah.
then you have
They
to
they
you
spent
got
they spent
spend a
all that
lot.
money, lose
Yep.
Saquon to their division rival.
Yes.
Okay. And now they're quarterback hunting because they got this star receiver and they don't have nobody to throw the ball to.
What's so crazy is talk about talk about karma. I don't want to pay a $12 million running back. And, what's he gonna do? And it's so crazy because everything he said in that little clip, what's he gonna do? Run for 2,000 yards? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
who know? Who knows though? You never know. Um, but anyway,
landing
I
where
mean,
he.
landing
Yeah,
where
I
he land,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
the
There's
Philly. You couldn't send him to the AFC. You had to send him to your division rival. It probably
which,
wouldn't have been that bad if Saquon would have went to the AFC and then, out of sight, out of mind. But you have to see him twice. He got to beat up on you twice every year, every
and that's what
season.
they did. Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. Um, So when we get back, we're going to break down the Super Bowl. Man, we're 7 days away, or six to whatever, 5 days away from the Super Bowl. Got a lot of picks, got a lot of prop bets and stuff. We'll go over. We'll talk about the game, talk about the game itself. Um,
Mhm.
Should be a really really good game. But yeah, there's a lot of craziness, and we got 4 weeks until March Madness. Um,
Mhm.
you got hockey going on. Um, And then we got horse racing that's going to be coming up. And then we're going to hit that lonely time. Lonely time in July, in August, when it's like, okay, there ain't no football. But we do
Right.
got football coming up in March. We
Yes, we
do.
do.
We
We
got,
do
yeah, yes,
have the
yeah.
XFL, and they have prominent guys, and some of those guys have went to the NFL, and last
Yes,
season
yes.
they showed up. So yeah,
So
so we
yes,
got
that's
that to look
I
forward to.
so we need so we'll try to cover that, try to cover more of that. We didn't last
Hmm.
year, and that's something. And I want to thank my guys out there at Cypress Solar Roofing. It's at 4300 Parkway Drive, Bossier City. If you need a roof or some solar or any kind of constructions, give them a call at 318-555-5800. Tell them Tony G and Big Lou sent you. All right, guys, like I said, every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, Big Lou, Tony G, KM Radio, 24 hours a day of great radio programming. Give them a call. All right, guys, we'll be back. When we get back, we're going to cover the Super Bowl right here on KHAM Radio, where we go
And,
ham.
uh,
KHAM Radio, we go ham. Tony G, Big Lou, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. KHAM Radio, make sure you tune in on the sports book. We got the NFL. We got some hot news right off the ticker tape. What you got, Lou?
Hot news right off the ticker tape. Cooper Cup just sent a tweet out on I still call it Twitter, but it's X now. But he said I was informed that the team will be seeking a trade immediately and will be working with me and my family to find the right place to continue competing for championships. I don't agree with the decision and always believed it was going to begin and end in LA. Still, if there's one thing that I've learned over the years, there are so many things that are out of your control, but it is how you respond to these things is what will that you will look back on and remember. So yes, breaking news: the Los Angeles Rams are seeking a trade for Cooper Cup, which I thought was going to happen because Puka Nacua can do the same thing, but he's got breakaway speed. But I
Yes,
still think they could have used Cooper Cup with uh with him. And I think if they had kept him there and used him with Puka, they would have got over the hump. They was only a few plays away.
I think I agree with you 100%, but I was noticing that they really weren't targeting Cooper Cup like they used to. Now,
Right.
Cooper Cup's had some injuries now. He's had some
Hmm.
injuries, and I think that's some of it. And you could tell by that tweet that he was surprised and that he thought it was gonna, you know what I mean? So he was, but it goes back to, what we were talking about, keeping people at too long and going, hey, what can we get for them? And kind of go, you know what I'm saying? To kind of go, maybe he doesn't fit in their plan right now. I mean, I think he'll make, I wouldn't call him a number one anymore. He definitely could be a bad to the bone number two.
Oh,
He
of
could turn
course.
in, yeah, he could turn into a number one if he could stay healthy. He
Hmm.
definitely would be for the right price. I mean, if all things work out like we're about to talk about, Andre Hopkins is probably going to win a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, he
I mean,
might. Yeah, and
at the twilight of his career, when you say how
right.
how old is he? How old is Hopkins? Let's look it up. I don't know off the top of
Yeah.
my head. Let me
Okay.
see.
While you looking that up, I'm gonna read some numbers to you. Cooper
Okay.
Cup signed a 3-year contract extension worth 80.1 million. He
Okay.
just completed the first season of that contract and is scheduled to have a cap hit of 29.8 million next season and 27.3 million in 2026. So that's
There you go.
probably a good reason why they were seeking a trade. But
What's
I
the
think he's
what's
worth it though. I think he's worth it.
so here's my here what they used to say. Remember when? And now for the rest of the story. There you go. That's the rest of the story. DeAndre Hopkins has been in the league 12 years. So he's, I
Hmm.
mean, that's
That's
a
that's
heck
that's
of
that's a
a,
pretty good yeah, that's a pretty good NFL career right there.
yeah, Clemson 2013 is 2025. I mean, I'm just saying, and the
Hmm.
thing is guys like him, Cooper Cup, and Jerry Rice will tell you, um,
Hmm.
is that them guys can run a heck of a route. And when you can
Oh
run a
yeah.
heck of a route, you can still catch the ball. It ain't about speed. Like I said, if it was about speed totally, then you know who in Miami who wants to get traded, he would have the most yards every year. Bottom
Yeah.
line, right? It's all about speed, but it's not. It's about
Right.
it. Speed is good. Speed is very good. We're not going to say it's not, but it's about a lot of things. You know what I mean? It's about knowing where you're at, how to get open. And
Right.
Hopkins is definitely that man. And then and provided he can stay healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays another 2 years. To be honest
Me
with you,
either. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Cooper Cup, if he can stay healthy, he runs a heck of a route. No, he's not.
Hmm.
I mean, he's fast, but he's not. He's not blazingly fast. But
Right.
he'll be a nice add on to someone. Hopefully, he'll go somewhere where he really has a chance to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I hope
I
so too. Can you
hopefully he,
imagine him? Can you imagine him down there in Tampa Bay with Mike Evans and Godwin? And then you
yeah,
got Cooper Cup for Baker Mayfield to throw to in the slot, or you know what I'm
yeah.
saying, creating his own routes. But I don't think Tampa has the money to get him though. But
Yeah,
that
if
would
somebody,
be that would be crazy.
all really, that what they would have to do is they have to, the money they're getting stuck with, but they could, I mean, you just try to work out a deal and go, hey, what's going to cost you 25? How about we pay
Yeah.
him 7 and then you eat 18? And so 7 million frees up a little money. You know what I'm saying? Or
Hmm.
something to kind of juice up the deal. And so now you got a
Right.
pretty good wide receiver for 1 year or 2 year. Because you start seeing a lot of people doing these 1 and 2 year deals. Paying
Hmm.
people like okay. And I even on the Bills, Von Miller said he wanted to come back. I was kind of surprised, and
I am
my
too.
yeah, that's what my had. They were telling me in New York, in Buffalo, he had made a comment that he would like to come back, and I think he would be good to have back. And I think he's like a coach on the field. There's no doubt, but not for
Yeah.
25 million. Not for $25 million
Oh
a year.
no.
No,
Oh,
no,
oh
no.
no.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
he's
That's
getting
what I'm
hurt
saying.
too
Like,
much. He didn't hurt
Yes,
too much.
you're
And
yeah, not for 25.
yeah,
We
where's
could
your
work
paperwork?
something out.
We need some
Yes.
paperwork for that 25 million. We need to see some stats on
Yeah.
this other side on the sheet
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so but I get it. People are trying to play and that they do add value. And my thing is if you could do that and make an extra $3-4 million for a couple more years, I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, just
Right.
kind of um but so going to Kansas City and the Eagles. All right.
Okay.
There's a bunch of so right now, and this could change. Kansas City is favored by 1 point. The Eagles are plus one. Uh, they have it to over of 49. The money line is negative 120, and Phillies plus 100. So before we get to any of the all the props, player pass tees,
Mhm.
player. Okay, I want to say this. So a couple years ago, or when Kansas City beat when Kansas when Kansas City beat San Francisco. San Francisco was I think the Eagles have a better offense. I think the Eagles have a better defense. I think all around, I think they're a better team. Saying that, so was San Francisco. San Francisco, when KC beat them, they had the number one offense and number one defense. I just ain't going against Mahomes. I just
Right.
can't. I just can't. I want to listen to someone and believe that that it can. I know they can be beat. The Bills have proven they can beat them,
Hmm.
but in the playoffs, they're rough.
Different animal.
Yeah,
Different
different
animal.
animal. You barely beat them in the season, and now when you go to the playoffs, and that's what I think. I think Philly's. Yeah, Philly's a better team. Okay, yeah, you're right. I agree. I don't think they're going to win. I mean, and that's
Mhm.
crazy. I just think that I think I think if they can control Saquon, and when I mean control, I don't mean like just keep him at 100 yards, which by the way is a really good day for the running back. Just keep him at 100 yards and just make him throw the ball. I mean, Andy Reid's going to come with a great make him throw the ball. They've already beat them once, okay?
Yeah.
And the pressure, believe it or not, the pressure's on Hurts. And you go, well, how could that be? He's all the pressure to win a three-peat. Because if Hurts lose to him again twice,
That's twice. That's twice.
all that's the kind of stuff that people start, and the media will eat that up. He can't
Hmm.
beat Mahomes. He's
Can't
really
beat
good.
Mahomes.
He's the
Yeah.
best, but he can't beat Mahomes. Wow, hope Kansas City don't make playoffs because I really think the pressure is on Philly to prove that they can beat them. Because if you go to a Super Bowl 2 out of 3 years and you play the same team and they beat you, hey, I'm from Buffalo. That's happened to us. So it's you.
Right.
It's you. You know what I'm saying? It's really your setup. And I know a lot of people. Philly's coach is strange to me. I know he's got some really great schemes. Uh, I they play smother football. Um,
Hmm.
and people are like, well, Kansas City. You're right. Kansas City's offense isn't what it used to be, but no one ever said it was bad. It's just
Right.
it changed its dimension. That's all that it did. It's
Hmm.
like, oh, we used to just be this, and that, but we don't do that anymore. We got different players. They do things
Hmm.
differently, so that's how we play. Oh, we got
Right.
Kareem Hunt. We got these running backs. We're putting them in. We'll grind the clock. We'll grind the clock out with you, and then by the way, don't leave any time on the clock because if you do, I'm going to beat you.
Exactly. Don't leave
That's
any
it.
time on the clock. And uh don't give up. I guess I could say it. Don't give up the stupid plays, bonehead plays. The bonehead plays, lack of discipline. That's what I call the bonehead plays, is lack of discipline and the football knowledge that you have. If you get away from how you play they're gonna they're gonna expose you. They're gonna
Right.
expose you. And I agree 110% about the statement you made when you said they're gonna make Jalen Hurts win this game. And that means that they're gonna have to close off that middle, turn Saquon lateral, make him go side to side and press the corners so he doesn't get, break out. And you gotta hit him low. He might hurdle you or jump over you, but is Saquon gonna get his yards? Yes. It's how he gets his yards is what's going to dictate that game. And I believe
Absolutely.
KC is going to make it rough for him. They're not going to give him anything up the middle if they don't have to. They're going to make him go lateral, side to side, make Jalen beat him with their arm. And that's going to be hard to do because, people don't talk about it. KC got some pretty good defenders back there with McDuffie in that other corner.
Absolutely.
So and that's what makes me think that KC is going to win this game. You know, like I said, I've tried all week to try to figure out something. Okay, how can Philly win this game? And I was like, well, Andy Reid has got more coaching experience. He's been to this big dance so many times, it's numb to him. So he knows exactly how to get his players right. Nick Sirianni, he's not a stranger to it. He's been to the Super Bowl, what, about 2 seasons, 3 seasons ago, or was it two?
Who are we talking about? I
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. It was 2 seasons ago. It wasn't last year. It was the year before.
Right. So it's like he's not new to it, but I
Mm-mm.
just think that coaching is going to come down to the coaching. Spagnola is going to make Saquon go lateral. It's not going to let him beat him up the middle. And I think that's what's going to win the game for KC. They're going to make Jalen Hurts win that game for them. And I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I think he's a little short, but I think he's a good quarterback. But I don't think he's good enough to where he'll be able to roll out to see where he needs to go with the ball. I think they're going to take
Right.
that away from him and make him play in the pocket. If they make a play in the pocket, then it's going to be a bad day for KC. I mean, not for KC, but for Philly.
Which was first five. Let me see. Like I said, one thing that I think I don't think I know is that um, great coaches are going to come up with are going to come up with um, schemes,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to have schemes. So the last time Kansas City played, um, let me see, there's the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat them by 3 points because I couldn't remember the score. Uh, it just goes just enough to beat them, and I think that's what's going to happen. And I think Reed's going to have the schemes, the offensively, defensively, special teams.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have them well prepared. And like I said, Philly's a really good team. They're probably
Right.
the better team. But I just think that Reed is able. What's the old say? I mean, I think Reed can squeeze a a dollar out of 15 cents, as they say. And I just and I truly believe that. I mean, I think he can get that
Absolutely.
everlast. And I think so here's the other thing. You look at New England. New England had a kryptonite. It was called the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was, that was the team that they just matched up. The Giants could have won 5 Super Bowls if they could have made it there and just had to play them because the
Mm-hmm.
Giants had their number. They just had their
They just
number.
matched up. Yeah. Their
They
players matched
matched
up
up.
well with their
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yes. And it was just like, wow. Um, did you realize that those 2 Super Bowls that they won, they were the underdog? I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
that would have been Tom Brady would have 9 Super Bowls right now, if you could imagine that.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
so that being said, um, I think, like I said, it's going to be a squeaker too. I'm not going. Oh man, Kansas City is going to blow. Not unless
Mm.
there's an injury, and that's another thing about Jalen Hurts. He's got a bad leg. You know what I mean? He's got a leg that they favor at times. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that, and and I know he don't want to run. And just like Patrick's got, he gets those high ankle sprains. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's, so he's not trying to, and like I said, Jalen and them, they'll be ready to roll. And I think it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be, I really think it's going to come down to the last minute or so.
Yeah.
I would be totally surprised if going into the fourth quarter somebody was that far ahead of someone to go,
Yeah.
oh, this guy.
17 to, yeah. If they was
Yeah.
14 to 17 points ahead,
I
I'm
just
not
yeah,
expecting that. Yeah.
right.
I think it's going to be a close game. Even though, I favor the Chiefs to win it, I still think it's going to be a close game. I just feel
That's
like KC is going to wear down Philly defense with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. I think D Hop is going to be the X factor. We didn't see a lot of them in the playoffs.
no,
So
I
that
agree.
means that they are cooking up plays just for him. And I think we're going to see it Super Bowl Sunday. Y'all just stay with me on this. Y'all stay with me on this sportsbook army, but just pay attention to D Hop in this game because we didn't see him much this in the playoffs. We didn't see him that much. I can attest for that because he's killed my parlays a couple times. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that's besides the point. But anyway, watch out for D Hop. They're gonna go heavy with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt to wear that defense down because you still got Kelsey that gets open when he wants to. You got Hollywood Brown that's coming back. So they're gonna
Hollywood
work
Brown.
him
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's
And
right.
you still got Xavier Worthy. And Rasheed Rice is still on their roster. So, so it's like, I don't know. It's hard, Tony. It's hard for me, even though I think Rasheed Rice is still hurt and he's not going to see the playing time. But with Worthy, uh, Hollywood Brown, Kelsey, Pacheco, and Kareem Hunt, I think that's going to be enough to get that defense, to get that defense to slow down.
So, like player receptions, they got Travis Kelsey at 6.5, Xavier
Mhm.
Worthy at 5.5, AJ Brown 5.5, Devontae Smith, and then Dallas Goddard. So the thing, and they got more. There's like I said, there's a ton of people. But my thing is what's weird about Kansas City, or it's not weird. It's just how like they go one game, Kelsey's the man.
Yeah.
Next game, they threw him twice. Then they pick someone. You know what I mean? They're looking for goes back to what we're saying. Looking for that matchup. If and I think you're right. And if Hopkins because you got to go heavy on a lot of people. You got
Hmm.
to cut. You know what I mean? It's got to be like, well, maybe we'll go
Somebody's
one
going to be left exposed.
right, and I would
And
say you would have to no disrespect as I mean, you would probably think, well, hey, I'm gonna let Hopkins move around. I know he can run routes, but
hmm
maybe we go heavy on Kelsey and to try to prevent him from running over the DBs and stuff. And that's not a bad play. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he wasn't. And just like, they've used Pacheco heavy one game, Kareem ain't much, and then another game. And like he definitely looks around for looking for the matchup, see who's on a better heater. And I get it. I mean, there's so many, like I said, when you go through whichever one you guys are on, Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes is plus 110. Saquon Barkley is plus 220. Jalen Hurts is plus 380. Travis Kelsey is plus 1,600. That's a lot. Um,
yeah, that's a lot.
but when was the last time that a tight end won the MVP? He'd have to catch three. He'd have to have three touchdowns.
Of course. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. Yeah,
yeah,
three or more.
yeah. Worthy's plus 25. They got 85. they got 85 people on this. I'm trying to find somebody. They got all kind of crazy. I understand. All kind of crazy stuff. Plus 8,000, or just random players. Um, Player rush receiving, let's go player rush. Let's see what they got. Let's see what they got Barkley at. Let's see what they got. Okay, Saquon Barkley they got at 113. Doable, but may come later in the now Kareem Hunt. So this is what's so crazy. So Pacheco they got at 21 yards.
Mm.
So and the Kareem Hunt they got at 44 yards. So you got to go. Is Pacheco not? They're not going to use. They are they trying a different scheme? Um, Worthy they got 6 yards. Because I'm looking at Pacheco, and I would look at what he did last game, and then I look at they got Patrick Mahomes at 30. See, I think Pat's not going to run. I think he'll
You
move a
know,
little bit. I
scramble a
mean,
little bit.
side to side. Yeah, he'll probably run 100 yards. There's no doubt. I get that, but he ain't trying to take no hits. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's trying to push anything. Saying that. So I like on that one. I actually like the under. Um, and Barkley the 113, man, that's a very doable. Uh, but definitely they're definitely going to try to close in Barkley, just like you said, and
Hmm.
he's going to get 100. I mean, he'll get 100 yards. We just don't need him to get
Yeah,
200. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
We
and we
don't.
just need. Yeah, I mean, because we just
We
need to
need
make
him
it
to get
tough. Yeah.
those. Yeah, we got to make those 100 yards slow. He can't have that
Yes.
breakout 60-yard run. That
Right. That's
45 yard.
exactly.
We can't have him break out like that
Yeah.
because once he gets one of those in, then regardless of what you do, he's not gonna quit.
Right. They did right.
So,
They need to keep it small. Yeah, he's going to run for
mhm.
3, 4 here, 5 there, losing 2. Make him. If you look at his yards, that's another thing. He's a great runner. I'm not taking anything away,
Yes,
but he's not a
yes.
bruiser runner. He's not really trying to. What I mean, like he might have 100 of open. What I mean. So I think they're going to make him try to earn every yard that he gets
Hmm.
to definitely definitely. Yeah, it's going to be like I said. It's going to be some blitzing. Um, they're definitely going to play. They're going to be switching up. I'm sure they're going to show Jalen Hurts everything they can show them just to see what he can do. Um,
Right.
I mean, and then they're gonna, because there's still some habits that they have from 3 years ago when they beat them. So
Hmm.
they're going to be looking at that. Um, but I think, like I said, I think with Kareem Hunt and Pacheco, uh, I like Kansas City. And like I said, you could tweeze it. You can tease it any way you want. I like Kansas City. The over I like too, because I think the over right now is at 49. Um, so I do like the over. I like Kansas City. Um, I like Barkley at 113.
Hmm.
Let's go to player passing yards. Let's see what they got.
Okay.
So they got Jalen Hurts at 212, and then they got Patrick Mahomes at 251 and a half.
Hmm.
So they're expecting, obviously they're expecting, because 212 over is plus 100. So they're expecting Barkley to pretty much carry the load.
Right.
That's I mean there's and we got the opening coin toss, heads or tails. Coin toss winner. How about that one?
Okay.
They got it all, man. Whatever you think you might want to bet on. And there's a lot of total team points. Total team points is one of my favorites too. Kansas City 24 and a half. Philly 24 and a half. I like the 24 and a half on the KC first half betting. There's just so many. It's got fourth quarter heroes.
Wow.
That's a I didn't ever saw that one before, but yeah, that's kind of Kelsey to score one TD in the fourth quarter and Chiefs win plus 750. They got like 14 of them, just so you know, and they get um Hopkins to score one TD in the fourth quarter and Chiefs win games plus 1800. That's a
Dang.
that's yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, that make I mean, I like how they throw that in there. He's got to score a touchdown in the fourth, and they
In the
win
fourth, and
in the
they
fourth,
win.
and they win.
Whew.
So that's the hero. But hey, guys, that's how it's breaking up. There's so much action on the Super Bowl. Um, I want to thank everyone for tuning in on our broadcast here on the KM Radio every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. I want to thank everyone at KM Radio that makes it happen. I want to thank Big Lou for coming out, and thank you guys for tuning in, being part of the family. So I will catch you next week, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, right here on KM Radio, where we go ham.
Damn.